Hi there, welcome to PEPE Wyckoff Technical Analysis session. So if you're new to my session, these are the 3 key takeaways you can expect. And let's get started. So PEPE has come down to test the red key level of 53 with 5 leading zeros. So, later on when I talk about the key levels, I'll just mention the numbers. And there are leading zeros before those numbers. So this selling climax that we asked previously, it's still not clear whether this is the lowest point yet. So this week's candle, there's only less than 5 hours left before it closed, but it doesn't mean next week it can't come down to retest the red key level, or maybe even lower. So we have found some more references that maybe where the coin is the worst case scenario it can go to. What we hope to see is automatic rally. So similar to what happened to the left hand side back in March this year, after the selling climax, it went up to the automatic rally near the end of March, reaching the yellow key level of 87. Okay, and then it came down for a second test and eventually get to a new distribution cycle. So let me remove these lines because that was pointing to a wedge back then, but it's no longer relevant now. So let's get to the daily chart and see what actually is going on in detail. While we're saying this is just the early stage for accumulation in the weekly time frame. So immediately we see since October 26th, the price has been trading, or PEPE has been trading below this resistance line, this yellow dashed line over here. Even the past 3 days on Friday, there was quite a bit of buying pushing the price up. Not that the volume is very high, just that the price went higher, and then eventually got rejected for 3 days in a row. So if this continues to trade within this triangle, then eventually it will get to a breakout opportunity around November 18th. Okay, not saying it has to wait till then. It's any time from now till that point. There is a chance for it to tell us, is this going to continue to be the trend, or is it going to find solid support from the red key level and then break outside of this resistance line. Okay, that's the positive scenario. Okay, if however this time you see these 5 days, the red line provided support. However, on October 10th and also even earlier, right there were occasions where the price went below. This was April 2024. This was March just this year. We have basically touched on this, but haven't really closed lower like what happened last year. Would this time be the case that it doesn't break this resistance and come down to test this green, I think it's green, dashed line over there? That's a support level of around 45. Okay, extended from 2024, like I explained just now. Okay, if it really breaks the red, that's the support level that we are going to see. So let me go zoom out. So that's what we were previously asking. Okay, there are 2 possible scenarios. 1, the red scenario is what happened around October 10th, 11th, and the few days after was, not only a few days after, actually all the way till end of October. This whole block here. Alright, this whole block here was the preliminary support period, the PS over there. And what we are seeing over the past few days was the actual selling climax. Alright, let's assume that's the case. And if that's the case, there should be an automatic rally, which, like I said, what happened on Friday may be the automatic rally of this, accumulation right above the red line. Subsequently, during accumulation, there can be second tests and more tests to come. That's why it's normal for it to come down for more tests and see how willing are people to buy the dip at that point. Okay? That's the first scenario, the red one. Second scenario, meaning this yellow text. Same thing, accumulation cycle. However, for yellow scenario, that was the selling climax back in October 10th or 11th. And then the automatic rally, and then some subsequent tests. Let's turn that to yellow. And eventually, it came down. And that's potentially a spring. Alright? Not a test anymore, because it went way deeper than this period. Okay, so that's where it's heading. So what to expect for the yellow scenario is the sign of strength. So if it really breaks this yellow dashed line and goes to challenge the orange, or maybe slightly higher, getting to the level of this automatic rally, that confirms that's a sign of strength. That's for the yellow scenario. Okay, it may be ahead of the red. You see the stages, right? By reading the stages. Red may still have a chance to come down for more tests or even a spring. That's when it gets below the red. Okay? It may challenge this level that I mentioned. So two support levels if it really breaks the red. One at around 45 that we already talked about. The other is around 38. These two support levels are referring to what happened back in 2024. So that's I think pretty much the picture for PEPE for now. Yeah, it's basically getting into a new accumulation cycle from the big picture perspective, and it's still seeking its lowest point by looking at the chart as of now. So, thanks for joining me.